Hey, what up YouTube? So this is your boy Slash, and as per I guess tradition, it's been a year since I made my Black Wings video, and the format's coming to an end again, so I'm going to make this final video for Gladiators to mark the end of this format, which is ending on September 1st, 2010. So I guess just to start off this video before I go through like the deck and explain how Gladiators work this format, I just want to say to all the dumb commenters out there, like if you're coming in on this video like 10 months after it's posted, like before you make your stupid comments, check the date of the video, because I see, like, not on my videos but on other videos, people post their deck lists, and then commenters come in saying the dumbest things like, why do you run this card, or why does this deck cost $1,000? And it's because they're coming in like 1-2 years late when the game's changed, and they're just asking dumb questions because they're thinking about the past in terms of the present, which is just stupid. Anyways, yeah, so basically I'm going to summarize how Gladiators play best in this format. People have tried various things, but based on the top decks that have placed at major events, you can form certain conclusions as to how Gladiators runs appropriately. So I'm going to be talking about that now, and this video will probably take 2 parts to explain, but I'll just go ahead and run through it. So Glad Beast deck, first of all, the main deck is at 42 cards, and this, it's a bit bulky. It's 2 extra cards than the standard, and it's okay because Gladiators are about control. It's not about like burning through your deck. Like, you're not trying to minimize your draws, because like everything you draw should be consistent. Like every opening hand should be very playable. So Gladiators, like to summarize, like they're basically about forcing closed game states in a sense. I mean, you definitely want to open game state if you're winning, but you want a closed game state where you just like lock your opponent down. Typically, it's the Herk Chariot lock, but there's other ways to lock. Yeah, you basically just want to like just threaten with field presence, because if Gladiators have field presence, then the opponent has to be afraid at all times, because at any time you can tag into Gyzarus or tag into Herk. So it's all about threatening with field presence. Like if a Gladiator player ever gets 2 Glads out on you, like that's like a sign of trouble. Especially if you end your turn and your opponent's Gladiator and the Glad player has two Beasts out. That's really dangerous. Something else is side decks at 15 cards. I think this format's pretty bad in terms of siding because there's just too many decks to side against and not enough slots. And side's very important. Like, you can't explain Yu-Gi-Oh! Without explaining the side deck and what you side out and what you side in. And when people don't really talk about that, it's either because they're really good players and they're hiding their secrets, but more often than not, it's because they're stupid and don't understand that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is about the side. So, like, a lot of people come in and like complain about meta, but generally the players who complain about meta aren't very good at Yu-Gi-Oh! Themselves, and they don't understand like just how diverse it truly is. Because what makes the game really like original and great and like thought demanding is how well you side, and also just not misplaying when you duel. But yeah, like siding is like an art. It's a delicate art that people don't like really think about. So, and like the people who like just hate on meta and like scream like unoriginal, they're the ones who don't understand how siding truly works. So here's the main deck. 19 monsters, 3 Test Tigers staple, 2 TKR. TKR, it responds to so much of the meta right now, and it's at worst it's 1900 beater, so it's just always a decent draw. It also stops Sangan searches and Black Whirlwind and stuff like that. Alright, so 2 Laquari, staple. 2 Equeste, staple. Equeste is your +1 generator. Definitely want to generate +1s. 2 Samnite. It's not great this format, but you play 2 because of Rescue Cat. Bestiari, staple. Secular, staple this format. It gets you the Herk plays. Murmillo, staple. Darius, staple, and also good for some Prisma plays or Herk plays. Retiari. Retiari, you actually side it out in a lot of game 2s and game 3s, or game 2 basically. But it's a good main deck card. Hop, semi-staple. Hop is a good wall. I like it against Blackwings. Certain matchups you just want to side it out. You can side it out for Spirit Reaper instead. But it has its uses. Like I like going first turn Hop, War Chariot. If they go first, I'll definitely side this out. Rescue Cat, broken. Rescue Cat is probably gonna get banned if Konami knows what they're doing with this game. Then they're gonna ban Rescue Cat. Prisma. Prisma Glads is not as good this format, so I'm not running like 2 Prisma and Stratos and Rhoda and all that. But I'm just running one Prisma. I've won a lot of games with it. It's a semi-beat stick, and you can also like just dump Bestiari, Special Tiger, tag Prisma in, get Darius, get Bestiari, tag them into Gyzarus. So Prisma plus one of the 3 test tigers in your deck will net you a Gyzarus. Alright, 3 Respite, or as the British call it, Respite. Respite is a pretty good card. You side out 1 in certain matchups if you reduce the number of Glads you play, like siding those Glads out. Respite is, yeah, just good to get the engine going. You want to draw into your spells and traps, but admittedly it is a dead draw at times. But it's also something that you can get back with Equeste, so there's a lot of like tactics. It has good synergy with the deck. 3 Book. Book is like broken. It's just like such a good card, and it will always be good as long as this game exists. Heavy. Heavy is kind of a weird choice. Like I would side this out in a lot of cases. If I'm going triple D fissure and I'm going first, then I'll definitely side this out. In certain other cases too, but like like frogs, you side this out. Like yeah, there's a lot of cases where you side it out. But it's a pretty good card. If you go second, you might want to leave it in. Econ is crazy, especially in this format where Bottomless is at 2. I think Bottomless might be at 1 someday because it's just like one of the best traps in the game. But it's at 2. Econ's crazy. Like it's like a semi-book. I mean, it does the same thing as book almost. And but the thing is, if you like summon and you have this in your hand, and they Bottomless, you can like Econ and get their monster. Or if they like drop dad, you can like Econ and like get their dad and like save yourself for a turn. And in the Glad Mirror matchup, obviously it's really awesome. You can tag out their Glad and get Glad of your own, and like +1 off that. Like, yeah, Econ's really versatile. And if there's any deck that it's good in, it's Gladiators. Cold Wave. This card needs to be banned. Cold Wave Cat is just stupid. Like, it just makes this format stupid. So it's just a really good card. Like, I guess like what's really broken about Cold Wave is that it lasts for 2 turns, not 1. It's just really stupid. It does not belong in this game. MST, pretty staple. Alright. 3 War Chariots. I side out 1 in a lot of matchups, and I'm sure like other top players do that too, because like you don't need it in a lot of matchups, but you want to open with 3. It's good fodder for Respite, but you also yeah, it's like you need to draw it for Herk plays. And Sandlight doesn't search that much in this format, so you really want to just draw into it. So yeah, like Herk Chariot is like the best lock. Like yesterday I was playing against a frog deck and I got like double Herk with the Chariot like looping from my grave to my backfield every turn, so that was pretty cool. 2 Bottomless. This card is crazy good. It's one of the best traps in the game, maybe the best. Bottomless needs to be at 1, I think. If they keep it at 2, I guess it's not a big deal, but it's pretty crazy. 2 Dust Tornado. So the professional player Dan Lamartina, he recently changed one of his Dust Tornadoes. Like he had 2, but he changed one to Trap Stun, which is also a good idea. But I have 2 because if you have like anti-meta or like whatever like rogue decks playing like continuous spells, continuous traps, like Trap Stuns becomes a dead draw, and you wanna use Dust Tornado just to get it off the field. Also for stuff like if they play that spell card that stops monsters summoned from the deck.